guys, welcome to His Beauty for Ashes, a space where we keep it real, grow together, and explore the incredible ways God takes our challenges or trials and transforms them into something absolutely beautiful. I'm your host, Marilyn MC Burrell. So grateful to be with you on this journey. Do me a favor, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you're listening to audio or Apple on Spotify, make sure to download, save, follow, share, and drop a rating or comment afterwards. Welcome to HBFA. Enjoy the episode. Hi, beloveds. Welcome back to another episode of His Beauty for Ashes. This is actually a part 2. I am your host and ambassador for Christ, Marilyn MC Burrell, and we are continuing the conversation with, listen, I just had to take advantage of the fact that I have Mr. Warrior's time. He was our guest on the podcast last week, and I think that if you missed last week, you really want to go and listen because there was so much light and inspiration from this phenomenal man that I just encourage you to go listen. I'm just saying. So we wanted to just kind of follow up on a couple of things. There was quite a few roles that Mr. Warrior has, things that he's doing out there for the world, shedding light and positivity and just making an impact. Again, he's a major influencer. And one of the things that we talked about was the Silver Fox Squad. And I did mention to you ladies, you might want to check them out. You did not give a plug for how they can find the Silver Fox Squad. I mean, but it's a whole bunch of y'all, Winston. So let's talk to the people about how the Silver Fox Squad. Just give us some background of those guys and how that came to be.
Of course. Well, again, like Marilyn said, welcome back, y'all. I'm Winston Warrior, aka the Dope Professor, and a member of the Silver Fox Squad. And so it's interesting that our founder, Urban Randall, you may remember him back in the day as Mr. Steal Your Grandma, but that's who he is. That's Urban.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's the founder. Yeah, so that's Urban. We call him Irv, but y'all can't call him that. Y'all call him Irv. No, I'm just kidding. Irv, it's interesting. He's a very spiritual man as well. And he said God gave him a vision about what he wanted to do with the Silver Fox Squad. And so he's just started reaching out to guys online who he felt represented being distinguished gentlemen, who would be role models, who are presenting themselves in a way that would be an inspiration to others. And he always felt like he was an influencer on his own and we are influencers on our own. But if we came together as a collective, the power of that would be out of this world. And he was right. And 4 to 5 years later, here we are. And what's interesting, Marilyn, is that we started off in this during the pandemic. And I don't know if you all remember the Don't Rush challenge. That thing was big back then when we were all locked up. The song Don't Rush. That's where it started.
Yeah, I do remember that song.
Yes. And so here's where, as we talked about before, alignment came into being with this particular situation. So I reached out to Titus and I said, hey, Titus, we should get together and do this Don't Rush thing because all these young guys are doing it. And he said, well, Urban didn't call you? And I was like, who, Urban Randall? He was like, yeah, Urban didn't call you? I was like, no. He said, yeah, we just sent videos in for a Don't Rush video that he's going to do with a bunch of guys. And I was like, well, how he not going to have me? Wait a minute now. So, he said, well, let me reach out to Urban. Well, he reached out to Urban, but they had already released the video, which was okay. And so Urban said, hey, Winston, actually what he said was, hey, man, this is how he talked. Hey, man. I was like, hey, Irv. He was like, listen, I heard that you were maybe interested in being in the video. And I just didn't even know you would want to be in it because you're so established. I didn't know you want to be in it. I was like, Urban, come on. So he's like, hey, I'm putting together this group. It's going to be called the Silver Fox Squad. And I want you to be a member. How do you feel about that? I was like, I would be honored. And that's where it started. And we had our first trip to the DC area, to Maryland, to Baltimore, actually. And it was middle of summer. I think the COVID was just passing through. We had our mask on, I remember, and travel was opening back up. And we decided to get together. And we didn't know what we were doing. But even then, Marilyn, it's ironic. It was 9 of us then. It's 9 of us now. But we had so many different changes over the years. But even at the beginning, the 9 of us sitting on these steps on the pier, people would walk by and be like, who are y'all? Like, we've never seen a group of men dressed so nice and just giving this energy. Who are y'all? And we were
Mm-hmm.
like, the Silver Fox Squad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are being asked and sponsored and flown places
Wow.
to be in the room and
Hmm.
to mentor people and to kind of be a representation of what people can be and what they can aspire to be. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not my God. You cannot tell me that
Oh,
he didn't put that vision in
that
Irvin,
that's it.
and here
Vision.
we are.
A vision.
The vision.
It's really inspiring for those like when God gives you a vision, you can run away from it or you can embrace it. And he's actually very the thing about God, because I think about even his beauty for ashes, Winston, like I was like,
Laid it on your
wait,
heart.
oh my gosh. And I was kind of like, not, haven't been out on social media a lot. And I was a little hesitant, honestly, a lot hesitant. And he just kept impressing it upon me. And I honestly, the one thing I'm going to be obedient. I'm going to be obedient, you know?
It's being in alignment
Mm-hmm.
and moving where he says you should move.
Yes.
That's what it
Yes.
is. Tomato,
Yes.
tomato. That's what it is.
Yes, it's just being, and then you can just see just inspiration for anyone out there that has a vision that God is giving you something. Don't be afraid. I think about that, Winston, that some people are afraid to move in what God is
Fear.
showing them.
Yeah.
Fear.
Fear will paralyze.
Move, move, and just trust God. Just keep one foot in front of the other. Just keep
That's right.
moving towards what He's telling you to do. And you look at that vision that Randall
That's
said
right.
he had, and look at it now. And
It's amazing.
I know when I was saying earlier, Winston, about the Silver Scott ladies, but you guys like how you guys are dressed and how
Yeah.
you carry yourself. You are role models to so many young men, so many
Yep.
men of what how to carry themselves with dignity and
That's
how to
right.
present themselves. And this vision now has expanded into all these great things that God is
That's right.
doing.
That's right. You're so right. And we humbly accept that responsibility and we take it very seriously. Like, we don't play around with it. Um, a lot of people think that, oh, it's just a lot of fun and, they're just, whatever. No, we have fun. We're like brothers, but we take the responsibility seriously. And when we show up, we have meetings about things. We talk about things. We keep each other in check. We keep each other accountable. And so the greatest compliment we have when we leave a place is that, wow, those guys were so nice. Those
Mm,
guys were so grateful. Those guys were so humble. Those
mm-hmm,
guys were so down to earth. That's
mm-hmm,
the compliment we want. I mean, people are going to say, oh, they dress so nice. They look so good. They smell good. Like, that's part of it, of course.
mm-hmm,
But the main thing we want to have is that people like, you guys were just gems. We just so
mm-hmm,
appreciate you, because a lot of other people can be a little bit more, conceited or what have you. That's not our
mm-hmm,
MO. That's not who we are.
mm-hmm,
We want to be accessible. And
mm-hmm,
so I think that's why people relate to us, because it goes back to that light we were talking about. I think when
mm-hmm,
we walk in a room, not only do they see the aesthetic, but there's a feeling that they get
mm-hmm,
when we walk in.
mm-hmm.
And we've had celebrities. We've walked into places, Maryland, where it was nothing but like VIPs, and they're like, "Can we take a picture with y'all?"
Wow.
And nobody's asking them for pictures because they all know each other, kind of thing. And they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
hey," but when we walk in a room, people like,
Uh-huh.
"Can we take a picture with y'all?" Like, we need a picture with y'all. I mean, we
Yeah.
literally, like I was saying before in the first episode, we were on the boat, this Caribbean fest, and we're on the flyer. Like, people actually came to the boat on the Caribbean, on Royal Caribbean, just to see us. Like, it was crazy. We had our
Wow.
own white party, and people like paid extra to come to the white party, and this thing was
Wow.
packed. Like, it's unbelievable, Maryland. But anyway, so Ron Isley, Isley Brothers, he's performing. He has a segment where it's like a chair and it's like acoustic, and he's sitting there and he looks, because we're in the front row, and he's like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, they're my guys, the Silver Foxes, right there. Y'all stand up." I mean, we were like, "How do you know us, Ron Isley? Like, come on." But this is how it happens. You
Yeah.
can't tell me there's nothing but God. And
Amen.
we recognize that and we say to ourselves, we will continue to be humble. I remember we were somewhere and we've gotten to the point now that we'll have security when we need it, and we have female handlers. It's a thing, and
Yeah.
so and so I remember something was going on where the sprinter that they gave us was too small, and we had to kind of like crouch in,
Mm-hmm.
and we were like, "All right, cool. You sending a sprinter to pick us up to get us to the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
We good."
We're good.
Nobody's like, this sprinter's too small, and
Right.
where our water at? Like, no, no, no. Like,
Yeah,
no,
ain't no ego there. And it's
no
beyond the
ego.
appearance. It's beyond the
There you go.
aesthetics, the surface. It's beyond that. And that's why I believe that the good continues to come to you. God continues to give you
Yeah,
goodness because of how you're representing him so well and how all of you are.
thank you.
And good begets good.
I mean, we literally have people come up to us at these events, real talk, and they go, thank you. You have inspired me to get off the couch. You have inspired me to lose weight. You have inspired me to
Wow.
be a better husband for my wife or a better boyfriend for my girlfriend. Women have said, you have shown me what it means to be a man so that I can know
Come
what I
on.
can look for in a mate. Like literally, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
playing.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, wow, we're really making an impact. And our
Yeah.
motto is impact and inspire. That's our motto. And
I like
so
that.
we see it, and it's so wild because it started with all of us just flying to Baltimore. It's the middle of the summer. It's hot. We got on these wool suits, and we don't know what we're doing. We standing up, we sit down, we lean this way, we lean that way. I mean, and now we just know how to do it. I mean, we walk
Uh-huh.
in, we have a thing, we step, we boom, we bop, and everybody's like, you know, hit,
Uh-huh.
that ain't walking. That's that walk.
Uh-huh.
It's just what we do now. It's just
Yeah.
amazing how far we're going, and there's so much going on now. It's just amazing to see what God is doing, and people don't even know it yet. And as it continues to unfold, we sit there and go, "My God, today,
Hey, come on.
look at what
Stratosphere.
you're doing." I'm
Come on,
telling you,
Daddy.
I'm telling you.
The sky's the limit. There's no limit with him. There's no limit with him. And then, when you're talking, it's like starting. You may not know everything when you start out.
I'm trying to tell
You
you.
may not know, and that's that walk of faith. You're aligned. Just keep stepping.
And here,
One
can I
step.
say this, Marilyn? Here's what I learned with my journey at Hillside International Truth Center, and Dr. Barbara taught this to me. She was like, "There's one thing to have faith, which you need, but you gotta know that it's
Mm,
gonna happen over there. So you
mm,
walk the way that you already know."
mm,
And I've always kept that truth principle with me. And so it's like Irvin was like, we already know we're gonna be like
mm.
this. So
The
we're
power of
walking
your
in
tongue. The power of your tongue.
speak it,
Mm-hmm.
believe
Mm-hmm.
differently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Think differently, believe differently, live
and
differently.
live differently. Because when you change your mind, you can change the world. You better say my thing. So that's exactly, that's
Yes.
exactly it. And so it's almost like like we were talking about the last episode, when I opened myself up to God, saying, "Hey, God, just order my steps, make me be aligned. I want to be aligned with whatever you have for me. Whatever good you have for me is going to be for me, and it's going to come to me." As soon as I made that declaration, Marilyn, like things just open up,
Mm.
and people are like, "Oh my God, that's happening too." I'm like, "Yup." They're like, "I don't know how you keep up with it." I'm like, "You know what? If God knows I can have it, keep bringing it to me. I'm gonna
Right.
keep making it happen." And the
Yes.
squad is one of those things. I had no idea the Civil Fire Squad was coming, and I was just ready and open and receptive. And hey, Aaron, I would like to be in that video. And he's like, "I want you to be in the group." And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"I'm good."
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 years later, I'm like, we've been flown places, and we walk into rooms and people know us. I mean, like Cedric the Entertainer knows us, and Tisha Campbell knows us. All these people that's the squad. I mean, they know that's the Silver Fox Squad. You're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I give you another example. When we go to Essence Music Fest, right? We of course we have on our gear,
Mm-hmm.
we may have all black or all
Snooty.
white or whatever. Just
Tight.
hey, tight. Hey, listen, let me give you a little secret. Y'all get closer to your little listening device, whatever you're listening to this podcast. If you ain't coming tight, oh, you're not coming to the event. We will shut you down. The squad will be like, nah, bro, that
No.
ain't right. You better go back to your room and find something else. That ain't right. No, that ain't right.
Y'all better be giving tips out if y'all turn away. Give us some tips, man. Come
Listen,
on.
we were like, listen, we have itineraries, we have meetings about what we're gonna wear. Like we say it's a one suitcase trip, it's a two suitcase trip. Like we have these things and we hold ourselves accountable to the standard that we have set. And if you're not meeting that the standard, you got to go back to your room and find another gear fit because this is not gonna work. So anyway, that's why we show up tight. We show up in
Right.
a way. So we show up and we meet the folks at the Essence Fest, and they meet us at the door, and we doing our thing. So while we're walking through, they say, "Hey, do y'all have tickets to the Usher concert?" And we were like, "Well, we think we might." Whatever. They're like, "Nah, we good. You don't think you might? Just here. We're gonna have your names at the thing. You come to the thing. You come to this. Boom. Like just by us being
Hmm.
there." So we come in with our all white, and literally like people are moving out of our way and we're not trying to move people, they just doing it, and we
Hmm.
get to the
Hmm.
door and we were like, hi, and they said, oh, we know who you all are, you still Fox Squad, hold on one, like that.
Wow.
But we started off on those steps of that pier.
Turning this way, turning that.
Turn
Hey,
up, turn this way.
when he says he will do exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask, think, or imagine. So, like you said, the alignment is more than faith, it's already knowing it. But then
It's already
God gonna
done.
always, he gonna do even more. He gonna do
You
more.
can't even imagine it. If you told me, and this is not about the squad, it's about my personal journey. If you told me that of the millions of people that try to get jobs at Amazon, that are trying to figure it out, right? They are, um, using all their resources, who they know, HR people they know, recruiters, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah, blah, trying to get in. If you had told me that 3.5 years, maybe almost 4 years from working at the University of Miami, that somebody would say, Winston, this job came up for Amazon that you would be great for. It's leading global marketing for this new internet service that they're launching. You would be great. You should apply. And I'm like, I don't know anybody at Amazon. Like, that's a big company. Like, they were like, you should apply. And that split second when I said, I don't know anybody, that split second, God was like, what do we talk about? What's our agreement? I'm
Oh.
open. I'm
Mm.
open.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Marilyn, I went online to the LinkedIn post, submitted my information on the website, and
Mm-hmm.
hit send. A week later, Amazon reached out and said the hiring manager for this role would like to talk to you. That's how I got into Amazon.
Come on.
And it just went, listen, it went like poop, 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 poop. It was like so easy.
That's
I
the
wasn't hurt.
alignment. That's the alignment, Winston. It's just being in tune and sensitive to that. Lord, I receive it. Just be in tune. It just aligned with him, his timing, synchronized
People
with his
cannot
timing.
believe. People cannot believe. They're
Mm.
like, you didn't know anybody at Amazon? Nope. The recruited? Nope. I submitted on the website.
Mm.
And they called me and like, no, we want to talk to you. That's nothing but God. And so
Yeah.
when I'm sharing this with people to say, even when you don't think, you have to stop that thought process immediately because your
Come on.
thoughts are things. Your thoughts are things.
Yes.
Stop it and say, yes, Lord.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
it's gonna
Yes.
happen. Your greatest
Yes.
good is gonna happen. And so you know what? If they never reached out to me, I at least put it forward. But guess
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. I always and listen. I say if it's not for me, a couple of things you mentioned in the last episode was about you. Your journey and how your friends and just people because at that time you were going through that humble part,
Hmm.
and people weren't there for you. The expectations they had on you,
Yeah.
you weren't meeting them, and then you got to really see people for who they are. But
Yeah.
it does come to a point where you stop caring what people are gonna think and you just flow with your dad. You
I
stop
wish
caring
people
what
I
people
wish
think.
people could see my movements and what I'm doing. I'm like giving you like yes, like I'm
Yeah.
pantomiming like yes. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly it. I needed
Mm-hmm.
to learn that lesson because I was so
Yeah.
beholden to trying to make everyone happy, pleasing everybody, and living up to these expectations that were false in my head
Mhm.
about
Mhm.
who I was. If I wasn't always achieving and being on all the time, then I wasn't worthy.
Mm. Which you know is
But
a
as
lie.
soon as I let that go and
Mhm.
understood that God
Mhm.
dwells within me, so it doesn't matter what everybody else is
Come
thinking because
on.
I already know,
Mhm.
there it goes.
Everything. Yeah.
Just flow, just flow.
Yes.
My current job, they reached out to me and said, we're creating this job, this role. We want to talk to you about it. I didn't reach out to them. They reached
Come
out to
on.
me.
Come on. Alignment. Daddy's like,
Alignment,
move with me.
move, just move. And so
Wow.
that's the thing with the squad. And so, the sky's the limit. I mean, there are things going on now that I can't talk about, but this, like I told people at the beginning of 2024, I said more in 24,
Mm.
more in 24,
Mm.
more love, more God, more
Mhm.
blessing, more
Mhm.
joy, more
Mhm.
happiness, more, just more.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
I'm living it. I'm
You are.
living it.
You are. You're
I'm living it.
exemplifying it. You are exemplifying it to the glory of God, Winston. To the
That's
glory of God.
it.
Wow. Listen, I don't know when you're gonna do a podcast, but brother, come on.
It's coming there somewhere. It's coming
Yeah,
one of
it's
these days.
at
When I
some
get
point,
another team, when I get a team together, it's gonna help me because there's too many
Yeah.
things in the air right now. And you working yourself hard. I know you do such great work, and so I'm like, I can't even if I can't come with the
Um,
excellence that you're bringing, Marilyn. I can't even. I mean, because it'll be
um,
haphazard. It'll be my stuff will be all over the place. I I mean, I try to do this thing called cook, help Winston cook because I can't
uh-huh,
cook, so I do a thing on the social media, help Winston cook.
uh-huh.
And people like, you haven't cooked in 3 weeks. I'm like, I ain't been here. Like, I'm trying. So to do a podcast the way you were like consistent and on it, like I don't have
Yeah.
time. Like I know, but one
Yeah,
day,
yeah, I'll be a guest, Winston. I'll be a guest on
thank
your
you. And can I
podcast.
say one other thing? Because I know we're kind of
Yes.
getting close to time. The Silver Fox Squad, we're not young men in age. We're
Mm-hmm.
older men.
Mm-hmm.
There are young people out
Refined.
here. This,
Refined.
well, my point is, here's where I'm going. There are young people out here trying to go viral because they don't want to work. I'm just sorry to say it. They trying to just do whatever to just, I want to have
Uh-huh.
a suit and some shoes and sponsors. So I'm just going to do this stuff and do some crazy things and do the dances and all this stuff. We are over 50 years old
Come on.
and we went viral and we are the
Yes.
Silver Fox Squad. The point is, age doesn't matter.
Yes. Yes.
Position doesn't matter.
Yes.
It's all
Yes.
about understanding what you are going to do and what God says you're going to do, and you'll do it. That's the point.
Yep. Yep.
And so
Move
for
and
people,
flow
so
in
people
there.
see us and say, "Oh my God, if they can do it
Mm-hmm.
at
Yeah.
50 plus, then I can do it."
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's
There you
right.
go. There you go.
Winston, you just dropped all the nuggets and gems on this second part. Telling us about the Silver Fox Squad.
Yes.
I'm so glad that you did share that story because it really inspires people to just start to like that alignment has to be
Uh-huh.
there and just flow with him and just watch what he does, even your
But you
career
said it.
opportunities.
But you said it. Just
Hmm.
start like
Yeah,
you did with
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
You didn't know anything about no podcast,
Didn't know a thing about it. Thank goodness I do have an engineering background, which you know,
but you smart
because
though.
that is
You are
coming in
smart.
handy. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that was a part of preparation, though, Winston. I mean, God's gonna remind me,
Mm.
like, oh, you remember, yeah, and just
Mhm.
starting and trusting Him and just keep stepping forward, keep stepping forward.
That's it.
He's got
There
it,
you go.
Winston.
That's what it is.
I just so thank you. I so appreciate who you are as a person and your light. Like I said before, I thank you for just sharing so much love with us and
Yes.
encouragement and positivity and just really exemplifying what this podcast is about. Encouragement and hope to others. I want to thank you for those experiences, the insights, and telling us about the Silver Fox Squad and how it all went down.
Yes.
I want to give a thanks to our listeners. Was there anything else you would like to add? I don't want to be rude. I was going to wrap
No, I
the
mean,
episode.
no, just again, if I might, thank you again for having me. And for those of you all listening, if you would like to follow me on this journey as I'm
Yes.
still growing and walking in the light.
Mhm.
It is the real Winston Warrior. Don't be fooled by
Yes.
all these fake accounts.
Oh
And can
yeah.
I say, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm going to say one thing. Uh, if a grown man that you don't know, after interacting with one or two exchanges, asks you for money,
Come on.
then realize who you are and whose you are,
Mm-hmm.
and your God self knows good and God doggone well
Mm-hmm.
that that person is a fake and a scam, and you should
Yep.
not go into your Apple Pay, Cash Out, whatever it is, and send a grown man money.
Thank you. You
So if you are
don't do
running
it.
into those people who are pretending to be me, I would never ask you for money. I will only ask you for your support and for you to follow me. That's it. So anyway, the real Winston Warrior, TheRealWinstonWinstonWarrior.
Warrior,
That's it.
baby.
That's
Warrior,
it.
baby.
That's
The real
it.
Winston Warrior. On all
Yep.
social media platforms,
That's it.
everywhere that you look, Winston is there spreading light and positively reflecting the light of our Father. You guys just enjoy it. Check him out. I
Thank
want to
you.
thank you for listening. Winston, thank you for being here. And I want to thank everyone that tuned in and listened today and each week that you come back and listen to these His Beautiful Ashes. These are conversations we're going to uplift and bring encouragement and hope, talk about God and what he's doing in the lives of us, everyone, because God is on the move. He's on the move. Get aligned. That's what my brother
Get a
said. Get
line.
You can, if you enjoyed this podcast episode, you can follow on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can subscribe and always feel free to share. Feel free to share. You know, we talked about
Sure.
that river of the flowing. When you get something good, you just share it.
Pass it on.
Share with others, pass it on. So I want to thank you, beloved ones, for being on here. I want you to know that I truly do love you with the love of God and that God loves you. You
Yeah.
always have a voice. Don't let anyone tell you anything otherwise, and that God sees you. I just want you to know that He sees you. There are again people that feel like they're not seen. God sees you. And as always, what my brother, Mr. Winston Warrior, represents light. You guys be light out there. His beauty for ashes. Peace.
Peace.
Before you guys sign off, I want to thank you guys so much for your support, and I am extremely grateful. We'll be back next week with a new episode, so be sure to subscribe and follow MC_Burrell, that's me, on social media for more His Beauty for Ashes content. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a quick moment to share with a friend or family member. Lastly, if you can do me a huge favor by going over to Apple or Spotify podcasts and leave a 5-star rating and a wholehearted review. It helps others to discover the podcast and continue to spread the love, encouragement, and inspiration. We all need that. Until next time, know that God loves you and I do too. Let's be light out there. This has been a presentation of His Beauty for Ashes.